Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the April 25th, 2024 meeting of the Acton Agua Dulce Unified School District Board of Trustees. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 6:30 and do the roll call, please.
Mays here.
Guess who's present?
Brianna Texoni here.
Mascon here.
And Falls Graph here. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda for the regular board meeting of April 25th, 2024, barring no modifications from the superintendent?
There are no changes to the agenda for April 25th, 2024.
Thank you. Can I move it in for
Almost.
I'll second.
questions, comments, call to question?
Aye.
Guess who's aye?
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Mascon aye.
Falls Graph, aye. Is there any public participation at this time?
No public comment cards at this time. Thank you.
Okay, so, we have this opportunity now to move to closed session. Do I have a motion to, hang on. My cold medicine's getting to me a little bit. We're going to adjourn to closed session at which we may discuss conference with labor negotiators, employee, public employee discussion, discipline, dismissal or release, conference with legal counsel, and student matters are things we may discuss. Do I have a motion?
Point of order. It looks like on the agenda, there's a 2B spotlight.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did we skip that part?
Apparently so.
Okay.
Moving ahead. Do I have a
Motion to adjourn to closed session.
I'll second.
call to question?
Mays aye.
Guess who's aye?
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Mascon aye.
Falls Graph, aye. We will adjourn to closed session at 6:33 PM. We will reconvene the meeting at 7:59 PM. Ms. Van Ornum, would you lead us in the flag salute, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
When conducting the district's business, we will strive to communicate clearly and concisely with respect for the time of others, listen objectively, carefully considering the opinions of others, understand the counterproductive effects of disruptive, demeaning, and intimidating behaviors, understand and respect district policies and procedures, and maintain a respect for the rich history of the district and the efforts of others who have served in the past. To report out on closed session, the board by a vote of 5-0 took action in closed session to give Superintendent Dr. Sahakian a satisfactory evaluation. His salary will increase by 2.5% as stated in the current contract, making Dr. Sahakian's annual salary $813 there. We have public comments.
No public comments at this time, Board President.
All right. We'll move into correspondence, close correspondence, proposals and reports. Item 7. Add a representative.
Hi, I'm here. How are you guys tonight?
Good. I can't read, but yeah.
You can't read. Okay. Hello, members of the board. I appreciate the opportunity to address you today as the added representative. I wanted to give a shout out to all of our teachers preparing for those end of year tests, the CASP testing, the LPAC testing, AP testing, and I'm sure there's more that I don't even know about that's happening right now. Testing to students is more than just putting a piece of paper in front of them. It takes months of planning and preparation to make sure they're ready for those tests. VHS recently had its virtual WASC visit today, and to all accounts, it went great. The WASC representatives shared how amazing the staff, students, parents, and lesson observations were, and gave great feedback to our schools. Our High Desert leadership students, under the direction of Ms. Goodstein, created a memorable moment for our upcoming 5th graders in the 4th grade roadshow. These students were excited to play games, learn the layout of the school. They had lunch with the 5th and 6th graders and much more. Soon our 5th graders will be enjoying Starbase Camp at Edwards Air Force Base. The 6th grade will learn about the importance of our oceans while going to the Aquarium of the Pacific. 8th graders are working hard learning physics by doing their motion activities, and the 7th graders are learning about wildlife during their nature hikes. All of our teachers are working hard to bring enriching activities to our students to make this a memorable and fun school year. That said, it's with a sense of responsibility and concern that I bring forth an issue affecting one of our school communities. Many teachers have experienced feelings of discomfort and demoralization due to what we perceive as demeaning behavior from one of our principals. Unfortunately, the environment is impacting morale and possibly the retention of valuable educators. I urge the board and district to continue working with ADA to consider the well-being of our staff by taking appropriate actions and addressing these concerns. Thank you.
Hi. I'd like to apologize for my absence to the last board meeting. I was involved in the every 15 minutes program, so I was unable to make it back to the board meeting. With that said, I'm going to start at Vasquez today to tell you a little bit about that every 15 minutes program. It's an invaluable program that teaches our students the dangers of impaired driving with hands-on work with the highway patrol, the fire station, ambulance, coroner's office, and the Palmdale courthouse to really give students a reality check of the dangers that we face by making impulsive decisions and not understanding how that can affect lives. So a special thank you to all the students who took time out of their 2 days to go through with this program and help their fellow students. So that being Hartley Lundquist, Caitlin Rowe, Presley Bilbrook, Rylan Dahl, Samantha Brooks, John Fox, Cole Keller, Brooklyn Berger, Mackenzie Van Arnhem, Ruslan Dameron, Leanne Lopez, Cameron Wadsworth, Marina Costin, Desiree Malone, and a special thank you to Ms. Walker for working so hard to orchestrate this after missing it for a few years on this campus. And thank you to our journalist students who took time following these students around to videotape and take photos of the events happening so students will be able to look back on it. So that's Mika Willman, Lucas Williams, Alex Coons, and I was also involved with that. That was where my absence came from. A big congratulations to the boys volleyball team for making it to CIF playoffs. We're really excited to see that success. Today, as was mentioned, we had our WASC review at Vasquez. And so a special thank you to the students who took time out of their third period to be involved with that review and give really valuable insight to the concerns they have about the campus and what they value from our campus. So that's Haley Haneke, Autumn Klaus, Lindsay Carzo, Sean Carr, Natalie Dillinger, Fernanda Vasquez, Adrian Moore, and I was able to sit in that myself. The students had really valuable things to say, and I think the WASC coordinator was really listening to their opinions. On a highlighted note, Vasquez is looking forward to celebrating our prom on May 4th. That's going to be at the Anaheim House of Blues. So thank you to the ASB and senior class for working so hard to set that up. We had a great turnout for tickets. So there is going to be a lot of fun happening on May 4th. Not a lot to report this week though, because as we're going through CASP testing, there's been an absence of our junior class and our electives and classes, but they're working hard. For High Desert, the Hawk highlights go out to Diego Alago for being respectful and inclusive for everyone. Genesis, you know how I'm bad at these names, guys, so I'm so sorry. Palacios, thank you, Ms. Van Arnhem, for being a hard worker, treating everyone with kindness and respect. And Jemet Saldana, thank you, for being a dedicated scholar, excellent citizen, responsible Hawk, and a loyal student. This last Monday on April 22nd, they had a school-wide FNL drug and alcohol prevention assembly for students to learn the risks of these substances and the dangers that come. There was a Florida trip informational meeting for parents, which that trip is an amazing opportunity, and we're thankful for the teachers who run that. Yesterday, Wednesday, 24th, was the parent night. It was an amazing turnout with parents for the upcoming fourth graders to get really valuable information. CASP testing is taking place for the next 2 weeks. And the fourth grade roadshow was today with fantastic energy, great activities. And this is to help the smooth transition to middle school with the huge differences that come with the campus and the expectations. The HDS Hawk Talent Show is coming up on May 24th. So mark that in your calendars because I'm sure hoping to attend and you should all too. Then the student showcase and open house is happening on May 30th. A big congratulations to the High Desert ASB and yearbook class for completing their yearbook. So that's gone to print and that should be in students' hands soon. It's not easy to work hard to create a yearbook every year. So congratulations to all those students and Ms. Goldstein for making that possible. The elementary updates are very similar to the high desert as they had a lot of crossover this week in their activities. The highlight is the character word of the month is fairness, and they have a talent show coming up tomorrow. So make it if you can. They have cast testing all of next week. So this week has been focused on preparing. That's all. Thank you.
This may be an opportunity if there's something that got messed up in my underwear, right out of order or something, please cover that.
No worries, Board President Falsgraf. No, we're trying to arrange the actual timing for students to be present. We're anticipating earlier, but times got changed at the last minute to this time, at 7:30 past the closed session. So I'm going to incorporate the recognition for Spotlight as part of my superintendent report. So I'm going to kick it off with the Spotlight first. All right. Last Friday, April 17th, we had the honor of, I know that I'm going to change the order really quick. If we could go, thank you, Mr. Alex. I apologize for that. Go to last Friday, April 17th, we had the honor of attending the 30th annual CCAP Los Angeles Scholarship Awards, Careers Through Culinary Arts program, along with our phenomenal Vasquez culinary arts teacher, Miss Christina Wagner, as you see in the photos being projected. It was a great opportunity to not only see the award scholarships CCAP competitors receive, but also to hear the information about the wonderful program CCAP really is. Our wonderful culinary arts students, Brett Dawson and Jonathan Roca, competed against a multitude of different high schools with over 30 competitors. At the award ceremony, both Brett and Jonathan, if you go back to the former pictures, you see a big smile on their faces. Yes, you do. Were awarded $3,000 cash scholarships each. We are thrilled for both of them and many congratulations on their achievement. Mrs. Wagner could not be here this evening due to a conflict. But per Mrs. Wagner, both Jonathan and Brett both received $3,000 in cash. We're so proud of all of their hard work. This is truly one of the highlights of my year. I love seeing the impact of this program on our students and all the other students that received amazing scholarships. In addition, to put a little bit more of a spotlight on Brett, we would like to congratulate Brett on his most recent accomplishments. Congratulations for being accepted to both the U.S. Naval and Coast Guard academies, as well as UC Berkeley for mechanical engineering. You have no doubt made the school district very proud, your family proud, and most importantly, yourself proud. We're extremely thrilled for you and your family. We're extremely thrilled for the achievements of all of our students, but for this evening, as part of the spotlight, congratulations, Jonathan and Brett. Our second part of the spotlight the AV Press has been recognizing seniors throughout the area who stand out academically, athletically, for their volunteer work, as well as their leadership skills. These future leaders are nominated by either a teacher, a coach, an employer, for an example. In total, 25 students are awarded annually. A reception to recognize our future leaders will be held on May 17th and hosted by Assemblyman Tom Lackey. We're thrilled to recognize and congratulate two of our very own students being recognized through this honor, Marina Costin and Leilani McClaus. Many congratulations to you both. I like to point out with our newly adopted strategic plan, we've embedded a graduate profile. Students, you exemplify the graduate profile completely. There's two elements of the graduate profile I'd like to read out loud for the community at large. Students who have been involved in a variety of student activities and community services and leadership. And students who have participated in activities which prepare them to be active, productive, and socially responsible citizens. This exemplifies each and every one of you. On behalf of the school district as a whole, we're very proud of you and congratulations. At this time, board, if you would like to congratulate our students, if you would like to come up so that there's a photo opportunity with our school board members, please. That, that's a lot. I mean, we're thrilled. Congratulations, but that's it for the spotlight, sir.
Congratulations, both of you, on the CCAP accomplishment. I know it takes a lot of hard work and dedication to the culinary program, and it's no joke under Miss Wagner. So congratulations on that, and congratulations on your highlight being chosen. And you and Lonnie, I'm sorry she couldn't be here. It's a really impressive opportunity, and I'm so glad you guys were able to be featured in that way.
Yeah, congratulations, gentlemen. Great accomplishment. We're very proud of you. So glad you guys can do it. As well as ladies, congratulations on your spotlights. Thank you.
Again, congratulations. What an outstanding job. And to Brett, you have some great choices ahead of you. So I'm curious to see which route you're going to take, but congratulations on that.
I'll say congratulations one more time. Congratulations to you guys, to all four of you students. That is a huge accomplishment. The culinary stuff, I think that could take you far should you choose to do that, and to move in that direction. And if you don't, you're set, because you can, I mean, those skills will take you all the way through your entire life, even if through your education and your job, you don't do anything with it other than win cool awards. I promise you that you know how to cook better than I do. So congratulations just on that part. So very cool. Brett, I sat at a conference for counselors. It was a UC conference, the counseling conference in, I think it was September. And it was the first one I've ever been to, and I did not go to college, and I have never looked into colleges, but to have somebody from Berkeley stand up and say there were 125 applicants and we accepted 10,000 or something. They take less than 10% of the applicants. And then they went through the criteria of their average student, and it was something crazy like 25 AP classes and a 4.9 GPA, and like all of these things that in my brain were just completely unattainable. And here you've got an offer to Berkeley and to the other, and that's just absolutely incredible. So I'm in awe of you, and I know that is a family thing. You come from a family of high achievers and incredible human beings, and your parents must be so proud of you. Great job, and great job to your parents. So Mary and Brian, congratulations. Very cool. And Marina and Leilani, I know that at our school and what I do, we nominated some students for that AV Press Award, and our parameters were nominate as many as you can. Our staff, teachers, office staff, principals, we were all encouraged to nominate. And I just have a little school where we have 9 teachers and a couple of office staff. And I know that all of our high schools out there that have thousands of students were also encouraged to do that. So for you two to be 2 out of 25 in the whole Antelope Valley is huge. That is so cool. Just to be nominated in your school, to have a teacher that believed in you and took that information and put it out there and nominated you is very cool. And then for 2 of you guys to win those awards, 2 out of 25 is phenomenal. So congratulations, and what a huge honor, and congratulations to your parents as well.
Yeah, congratulations and thanks for coming in and letting us help celebrate your success. It's thank you for being here and thank you for everything you're doing to make our school great. I hope you choose the Naval Academy, and just a reminder that you can go Marine Corps from the Naval Academy.
And all that, and wanted to represent our community, I would send you Marina Costan every time. I have never heard anything about you or your brother spoken in any way that would involve anything that would concern us other than to be proud of you and clap for you, young lady. Thank you. I think that's what I have. I think that was enough. Thank you.
Continue with the superintendent's report, trustees and community and parents and students. Very briefly, I know it's already been shared by our student board rep, Asen, very nicely, as well as our ATA representative, Ms. Carrie Wright. The California Assessment of Student Performance and Progress, CASP for short, has already begun at our school sites for the months of April and May. Each year, students in grades 3 through 8 in the high school participate in the CASP assessments. This year, our students will take the following tests for English language arts, literacy and math in grades 3 through 8 and 11th grade, and in the 11th grade as well, and the CAS California Science Test in grades 5 and 8. We ask that our students get a good night's sleep and a nutritious breakfast before testing, because it is a huge endeavor and the focus is always needed. At Vasquez High School, advanced placement AP exams will begin after the CASP assessments are completed. We wish all of our students the best in the last 6 weeks of instruction. So good luck and best wishes. With that, I conclude my report. Thank you. There are no submissions this evening. Thank you.
To move in the entire consent agenda.
A
I'd like to
motion.
pull item F.
So we'll have a motion to discuss the consent agenda. So I have a motion and a second. Does anyone want to pull any item?
I'd like to pull item F, please.
Item F, anyone else? So no one can read tonight. It's not just me. Do I have a motion to approve Consent agenda items A, B, C, D, E, G, H. Motion,
I'll motion.
I'll second.
call the question.
Cameron, I.
Mays, I.
Jesus, I.
Brianna Texoni, I.
Mascot eye.
Falls graph I. Lester, please take over on item F.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank Susan Fratterman for her donation to Meadowlark. Miss Van Orem, do you have you know anything about this? Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Miss Fratterman. That was all I had.
We want to thank our community member, like Mr. Mascone mentioned, as well as our arts committee, in particular, Miss Sandy Matson, in collaboration with Miss Ratterman in terms of the piano donation to Meadowlark valued at $900. I know our teachers and students will definitely benefit. So thank you to the community.
So can we honor these people by voting on item F? Do I have a, we already have a motion. Go ahead. Call the question.
Cameron, I.
Mays, I.
Jesus, I.
Brianna Texoni, I.
Mascot.
Falls graph I. Moving along, number 9, personnel action report. Do I have a motion?
I'll motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. For the personnel report for this evening, I am thrilled and honored to have Ms. Jacqueline Erdrich on the par for this evening. If approved, she will be our next HR director overseeing the People and Culture Office for the district. She's coming to us with an extensive background in not only human resources, but as well as former director of student support services and achievement, as well as a former principal. So we are thrilled to see you here this evening, to see you on the par, and we look forward to our collaboration together and moving our district forward, Ms. Erdrich. Thank you.
Comments, anyone? I'd like to welcome the first HR person at 64 years old that I probably won't live in their office. Welcome aboard. Do we have, call the question? Vote, please.
Cameron, I.
Mays, I.
Jesus, I.
Brianna Texoni, I.
Welcome, Mascot eye.
Falls graph I. Item B, consulting agreement with Lead Learner Associates. Can I get this moved in?
Motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. Recently, there was a consultant contract that our trustees approved. Unfortunately, we know for circumstances beyond our control that cannot move forward. In its place, we are looking for the Lead Learner Associates contract to be approved this evening to lend support to management. They lead by supporting through strength-based coaching and training for, again, management, and we look forward to their collaboration with staff for the next 6 weeks in the academic calendar. Thank you.
Discussion? Call the question?
Cameron, I.
Mays, I.
Jesus, I.
Brianna Texoni, I.
Mascot eye.
Falls graph I. C, revised job descriptions and salary schedule. H, Director of Maintenance Operations and Transportation and Coordinator of Food Services. Do I have a motion?
I'll motion.
Second.
Thank you. Just a little bit of a background. Currently, food services responsibilities, that position is coupled with transportation under one umbrella. As part of the ongoing reorganization of district office efforts, we are looking for an approval to combine maintenance and operations with transportation as a MOT director separated from food services, and food services then could be a standalone position as a food services coordinator under the purview of the Assistant Superintendent of Business Services, Mr. Vensko. Mr. Vensko?
Yeah, so essentially, as Dr. Zlotny mentioned, that this position, we've actually are resurrecting an old Director of Maintenance Operations and Transportation. This was here at the district pre-COVID, if I'm not mistaken, probably even several years prior to that, but we're trying to realign it to make it a little more efficient, knowing that there is, great importance for both departments. And we had some challenges, just that the fact that there was a big department to fill.
So that's why we're splitting this particular job to description into separate departments.
Questions? Call the question?
Cameron, I.
Mays, I.
Jesus, I.
Brianna Texoni, I.
Mascot.
Falls Graph, aye. Tab 10, Education and Pupil Services. Item A, this is a first read. This is not an action item. School plan for student achievement, Meadowlark High Desert and Vasquez High School. Superintendent?
Thank you. So the SIPSA, School Plan for Student Achievement, the main areas that are covered, and it's a lengthy document. First and foremost, I want to thank our school administrators, our principals for updating the SIPSA plan, which is a driving factor in terms of professional development, staff development, and focus for our students. The areas covered are based on the CASP data. And again, hearing the word CASP. Within the CASP data, there's academic achievement data points that are discussed, attendance components, as well as community engagement, as well as student behavior, suspension, and expulsion numbers. So these goals are related to some of the action items that you'll find on the LCAP, as well as our strategic plan. Dr. Chamberlain, Ed Services, anything that you'd like to add for the SIPSA first read?
I don't have anything. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Chamberlain.
Questions, discussion? Call the question?
Cameron, I.
Mays, I.
Jesus, I.
What are we voting on?
Oh, wait a minute. This is a first read. Never mind. I'm losing it. Moving on. Los Angeles County Plan for Expelled Students, item B. This is a first read, not an action item. Superintendent?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Well, before I begin, Brett and Jonathan, this is your chance to run because there's a presentation coming up. I'm just saying, but you're more than welcome to stay with us. You choose. Thank you. Thank you both. Well, back to the LA County Plan for Expelled Students. As part of an annual notification requirement, all 81 districts supported by LACO, LA County Office of Education, LACO and the districts that are supported provide their input on the plan for expelled students. Dr. Chamberlain has condensed the information that'll be presented for you in a moment. The overview of our home to school transport, I'm sorry, I'm reading the next item. Never mind. Dr. Chamberlain, you're up.
It's bad tonight. It really is.
Thank you for that introduction. Much appreciated. Good evening, board. I will be brief, but thank you for your listening ahead. We can go to the next slide. So Dr. Hawken already shared a little bit about the survey with you, but the LACO, LA County Office of Education provides direction and oversight for 80 districts and 1,436,522 students. That's so much. LACO surveyed all the districts in November to seek input into how districts are supporting students who have been expelled. The resulting survey data was used by LACO to create a plan that all districts should use to support expelled students throughout the county. Since this is a countywide plan, some of the aspects of the plan will not apply to Acton Agua Dulce Unified School District. So the California Ed Code provides guidance to local governing boards when determining the alternative education program for an expelled student. These are the 4 options. One is suspended enforcement of an expulsion order with placement at the same school campus. The second is suspended enforcement of the expulsion order with the placement on a different school within a district or a district alternative program, such as an independent study program. The third is expulsion with a referral to a district community day school. This is not an option for our district as we do not have a community day school. And the fourth is expulsion with a referral to a county community day school that are operated by LACO. A pupil who is expelled for an act listed under Ed Code 48915, mandatory expulsion, shall be assigned to a program that meets the following 3 conditions.
One, it needs to be appropriately prepared to accommodate students who exhibit discipline concerns. It is not a comprehensive middle, high school, or any elementary school. And it also cannot be housed at the school site that the pupil attended at the time of the suspension. For our district, we have our alternative program that we offer is our independent virtual academy program. That's a 100% online program. LACO identified 3 service areas of their gaps in their services that they provide to districts. The first one was discovered, and this was through the survey, was limited local alternative placement options and transportation services. The strategies that they're suggesting to support districts is that we implement the multi-tiered systems of support, which is MTSS. Some of the things that we have in place here are restorative practices, our universal screening, our PBIS, which is our positive behavior interventions and support, our social emotional learning, our second, and under that, we have our second step program, which is K-8, and our Suite 360, which is 9-12, and next year that's extending for 7th and 8th grade as well. We also have targeted tier 2 supports, which are strategic interventions that happen in the classroom level that help to reduce the number of referrals to the office. There is a link in that if you're kind of interested in the things that we're focusing on with our principals and our school sites and our teachers. And then there's a strong recommendation for a prevention model at K-5, which we're working on implementing as well. The second gap was lack of mental health supports. The strategy is that LACO's Division of Student Support Services offers professional development and training opportunities. They do offer a lot. I linked their newsletter that they send to our counselors and myself every month, and our counselors do, and social workers as well as our myself, principals, other people that do attendance at our school sites. They're almost all free, and we take advantage of a lot of those trainings. They're excellent. And then school-based interventions are student success teams. And those are done prior to an IEP team or an IEP recommendation, also IEP teams, individual education plans. And then the third gap was improving transition support to and from School of Residence to LACO. There is a need for information and clarification regarding the referral process and student eligibility for admittance to LACO's community schools. The strategy was that LACO's going to currently they operate 3 community schools. LACO plans to host future informational meetings related to the referral process. And then they're also putting in place transition counselors to help support students as they transition back to a regular comprehensive high school, or if they're moving on to college and career related programs. And then if we have a situation where a student doesn't meet the conditions in terms of their rehabilitation plan, there's the district, I'll just start at the beginning. Expelled students who are unsuccessful in a district operated program or who fail to meet the terms and conditions of the rehabilitation plan or who pose a danger to other students may be referred to LACO supported alternative programs. And then recommendations for us is that we approve and adopt the LACO plan for expelled students. We continue to follow county guidelines and ensure that both the recommendation and the rehabilitation plan include academic and social and emotional supports and ensure strategies and supports are in place to support students to fulfill their rehabilitation plans and make progress towards their academic goals. And that concludes my presentation. Do you have any questions?
Where are the LACO facilities? Do we know where those are?
They're closer to Los Angeles, and that they identified the problems with us even finding them. They're really hard to find. One of the questions I had is, even if we had a student we wanted to recommend, how do we refer them? I thought it was kind of telling that that was actually part of my response to the survey, is how do we reach out to these services? That it's not transparent at all. And that actually came through the survey process. So I'll be watching my emails from LACO as it relates to some of the informational meetings they have that have to do with the referral process to the community schools. It wouldn't be our number one option. It's usually kids that are kind of higher up. There was usually some supports prior to probably a student being recommended for a community school like that.
A lot of that sounds like what we're already doing. Is it very much different from what we're already doing?
No, we're already doing a lot of like a lot of the strategies LACO had as recommendations. We're doing a lot of those in their programs that we're actually reinforcing and are growing and are just strengthening really consistently across all three of our schools. So it made me feel good when I saw the report that, oh, these are things that we are really have in place. There are things like the restorative practices we send teachers to every year that the board, supports paying for that professional development, as well as the PBIS conferences in Chicago that was funded by the grants that Dr. Sahakian had accepted for us. And that was a fantastic, I hear when people come back how great these programs are. And then what's really great, and you guys have seen some of how this has been implemented through that Monday morning meeting at Vasquez with the links that we put. A lot of those links you hit take you directly to some of those things that we're doing.
Thank you.
Sure.
Are there any budget impacts with adopting this plan?
No, there's no cost at all. That's a good question. Thank you.
Thank you. A couple questions. Does the slide say that LACO did an audit here and found that these are findings? Explain what the title means. if you
It's just
can.
a survey. So LACO puts out a survey to all the districts in the county, the 88 districts, and it just asks us questions like one of the questions were, what are the barriers that you're finding as it relates to community, the LACO community schools? And there's narrative, there's some that just are yes or no, or you have a need, there's a whole checkoff list, but there's narrative. And I know when I answered that, part of it was, I found a list of community schools on CDE. I even reached out to some of those schools and really some weren't operating. So I gave them feedback like that. So basically just the survey, we provide feedback. The LACO kind of gathers all that feedback and comes back with these recommendations of ways that they can close those gaps to better support our districts.
So this is kind of a customer survey on LACO and the mental health supports. Is we sign off a portion of our budget every year to LACO doing health or mental health work for us rather than internalizing it. Is that right? Is that the best way to characterize that?
Well, as part of the survey, they'll seek out deficits and strengths, and then their recommendations to the districts that they support, the 80 districts they support. One of them was heightening your mental health supports, PBIS, MTSS, and so forth, so on. I like to, there are some referrals that could be made to LACO, but many of these really come from the district within. So I'd like to, definitely spotlight the mental health supports that are currently in place, and like Dr. Chamberlain share restorative practices, PBIS, MTSS is well underway and very robust in our district, along with our SEL curriculum. So we are meeting the challenges that LACO had outlined for districts to address. We're already ahead of the curve.
So this is a broad characterization that districts just everywhere need to modernize things, because here's what I'm familiar with. When I was a kid, there was a hesitance to identify what's going on with this kid. And then you find out you're ADHD when you're 60 years old and look back at life and go, this is why I'm so great, but this is why people hate me. So if there's a hesitance to identify and say, hey, you might want to have your kid assessed. And then after a certain number of being sent to the principal's office and you check those boxes off, then you move the kid out of here and your scores go up. I'm familiar with that model. And I'm glad that that's not the model here. So when you're able to characterize what these MTSS supports are, you're kind of looking and saying when Tim Jorgensen was a great principal because he would pull somebody aside and go, you know what? You're just hurting yourself. That's not really you. And that's really the crux of it is pulling the kid aside and being the adult when you have to. Let's go off way out in the weeds now. We all know that if a kid has an IEP, that we know that if you pull them in and they have some kind of behavior and somebody tries to suspend them without doing a manifest determination hearing, that's big trouble, and then the lawyers become involved, and then we're paying for out-of-state placements, which are typically non-public agencies. So that's the end road when the system really fails. I think what you've set up here is not, it gets past being defensible to the oversight agency, but it says, you know, we're actually caring about our kids. So thank you, Paula.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Anybody else you want to loop again? We all good? All right. That was not an action item. First read, we'll vote next time. Business services, A, 2024, 2025 transportation plan. This is an action item. We'll move it in.
I'll move.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Vensko will be providing an overview of our home to school transportation plan that is tied to our existing board policies. He'll cover expenditures as well as fiscal impact. Mr. Vensko.
Thank you. Good evening, board members. So tonight, as part of the Assembly Bill 181 and amended by 185, the state has authorized some additional funding called the Home to School Transportation Reimbursement Program. It provided districts with a 60% reimbursement above what the LCFF provided for transportation. As part of that reimbursement program, districts had to adopt a transportation plan by April 1st of 2023, and it needs to be reviewed annually. And so this is the transportation plan. There is no changes from last year as the transportation plan, is fitting the current needs. In the 24-25, it is estimated that we already are getting approximately, I believe, $500,000 in our LCFF, but because of the additional funding that the district or the state is giving, we'll get about an additional $25,000 towards our transportation. That concludes my report.
Thank you, sir. Questions, comments? Call the question.
Cameron, I.
Mays, aye.
Jesus, I.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Mascot, aye.
Fallsgraf, aye. Oh, my favorite, but item B, LACO letter 2023, second interim report review. This is something we need to move in,
Move it in.
I'll second.
or maybe not. Superintendent, would you frame this before I read it?
Sure. LACO, LA County Office of Education provided the district, Mr. Fallsgraf, Board President, on April 15th, a positive certification based on our second interim report. Mr. Vensko, any components there that you want to share before we turn it over to the Board President?
Other than this is a standard practice that the county office either concurs or does not with the districts and the board's certification status, which we did at the second interim reading. So.
Okay, this is every year when I'm the president, which is like every 4 years, and I'm not the president, I'll read this aloud and I'll make some lively commentary. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read it word for word, then I'm going to open it to the discussion by the board and student rep, and then I'll finish up with my usual lively comments. April 15th, 2024. Mr. Ken Fallsgraf, Board President, Acton Agua Dulce Unified School District address where we're at right now. Dear Mr. Fallsgraf, they spelled my name right, which is incredible. The Los Angeles County Superintendent of Schools, the County Superintendent reviewed the Acton Agua Dulce Unified School District 2023-24 second interim report. Good job. It doesn't say that.
No.
We concur with the district's positive certification as our analysis indicates the district should meet its financial obligations for the current fiscal year and subsequent 2 fiscal years. We offer the comments below. 1, labor contract negotiations. According to our review, certificated and classified labor negotiations for the 2023-24 remain unsettled, and the potential impact was not incorporated into the projected salary and benefit expenditures. As a reminder, before the district's Board of Education takes action on a proposed collective bargaining agreement, the districts must meet the public disclosure requirements of Government Code Section 3547.5 and the California Code of Regulations Title 5, Section 15449. The document used for this analysis is included in informational bulletin number 6733 dated July 25, 2023, entitled 2023-24 Forms for Assembly Bill 1200 Public Disclosure of Proposed Collective Bargaining Agreements. This document can be found at the following website. It gives you a link. Number 2, charter school oversight. Education Code Section 47604.32 requires authorizing districts to ensure each charter school under its authority complies with all reports required by law and to monitor the fiscal solvency of those charters. While all of the districts authorized charter schools projected positive ending fund balances for the 2023-24 second interim report, EC, which is Education Code Section 47604 subsection C, specifies that an authorizing entity is not liable for the debts or obligations of an insolvent charter if it has complied with all oversight responsibilities required by law. Therefore, we remind the district of their oversight responsibilities and the potential negative effect of the charter school's liabilities on the district general funds and reserves if those responsibilities are not met. Conclusion, thank you for providing documentation supporting the district's positive certification. The information provided reflects the district's financial position and assumption as of January 31, 2024. And we expect further adjustments during the year as additional data becomes available. The multi-year projections and narrative and assumptions were helpful in our analysis and verifying the district's financial condition. We hope these comments are helpful to the district's administration and board in planning for the remainder of 2324 and updating your projections for 2425 and 2025 to 2025 and 2026. We express our appreciation to district staff for their cooperation during our review. If our office may be of further assistance, please call me at, I won't have everybody call, Hoyt Yee, who has been our business consultant for at least a decade. And then everyone on here is CC'd except you all. Discussion.
I have nothing, so I'll leave all my time for you, Mr. Paulscraft.
Congratulations on a positive certification. Thank you.
Thank you for your outstanding work so far. Appreciate that. I'll defer again to the president's comments at the end.
I concur.
Yeah, well done on a positive certification. I know there's a lot of work that goes into that. And every time I've seen one of these letters so far, they do say a lot of the same things. And I would hope that we make good fiscal decisions going forward, an encouragement towards balanced budgets, because the decisions we make regarding our budget today will affect children many years into the future. Bad decisions today will affect them just as well as good ones. So thank you.
The record will show that I first walked into a board meeting in Meadowlark January 11th, 2011. I sat in the audience for nearly every meeting for 5 years before I ran for board. They did not have MTSS, and they want to know why. They didn't even check to see why someone would sit there for 5 years, much less 6. So this is the first letter in all of that time, which is, Les tried to do the math for me back there. So what is this? 11, how many years is this? Like
27.
If y'all knew what was behind that. You know, somebody filed a Brown Act violation. He's told you the number from closed session, okay? And that's not a percentage. Anyway, this is the first letter that I have ever seen in 13 years that it didn't say, you guys are losing ADA. That's what they always say. That's what everybody says. This is the first time that this has not said that. So I want to talk a little bit about why that is. Even in Oklahoma, that means that our enrollment is going up. Does everybody get that? Right? So why is our enrollment going up? Maybe because people want to go to our school and they want to stay here. And I don't know what that means up here. Somebody takes one of my kids to school. But it means that we're not losing kids. We're not bleeding off. And the economy is not really that great right now, if you think about it. And I was around in 2013 when people were losing their house and moving in with mommy and daddy again and all that kind of stuff. But we are holding our own. And I would encourage you to look around to other districts and find out there's people doing layoffs right now and they're projecting layoffs because they're losing enrollment. So what makes sense to me is in the classroom, kids want to go to the classroom. I take this one back to the bank, Carrie. Teachers are in the classroom. I'm not in the classroom. If I was in the classroom, they'd throw me out. That's what they used to do. But our classrooms are retaining kids. That's why this happened. Next thing I want to point out, and I'm going to be careful because I have to be. This district used to try everything to get funding, including sponsoring charters, which is basically they're telling you in the end, if you drop the ball and you get somebody like whoever they were, I went down and watched them all get thrown in jail and indicted after they stood up there and lied to me. And the judge told them the same thing, the same questions I asked, and threw them in jail. And I sat there with a carton of cigarettes and wanted to make sure they had some on their way into the cell. Anyway, this district used to try everything to raise its own money. Okay. We don't do that anymore. But I do need you to know the reserve that we have that's very healthy. Look at our ADA. You all been told it takes 1,400 kids for this to be self-sufficient. So that money that's in the reserve, that's because the courts were too silly to take it back. That's where that reserve come from. Don't ever forget that. That reserve was not there. Had Lynn David not been over here fighting with me to try to make copper wire out of a penny, my God, she was stingy, but thank goodness she was. Asan, same way. Kevin, it's really easy to blow that money, but without that reserve, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Without that reserve, and we all know where it came from, would we be solvent today? Not at all. Next thing I want to make very clear, this man right here, no one else, wrote grants to the tune of $5 million or so much, I can't remember what it was, which equates to $1.2 million a year. Where are we without that $1.2 million a year?
Same as what you
Yeah,
just
so
said.
when you're cussing our superintendent, get your calculator out. Now, what used to be number 3 is now number 2, labor contract negotiations. Can you budget in good faith?
No.
Of what you think they're going to ask for and publish it?
No.
I work for government agencies. This is the stupidest thing I ever saw. They're trying to anticipate cost escalations. I got a contract that's worth $2.4 million in one contractor. So someone's coming to me and say, hey, what do you think that contract's going to go up? Do you think it's going to go up 20%? So yeah, I'm going to ask for a budget appropriation for 20% on a contract that I'm going to bid out in a month. Wow, they might come back with 2022, 25% higher, right? Wow. So don't be concerned about this, but be concerned with what our revenues are and all this kind of thing. So I want to call out again, we're keeping kids because they want to come to our classroom. People want to come to our community, even though I'm here, they still want to come here. They stay in our school. Our teachers are great. That's where the work is being done. That's what keeps our kids. There's more kids. I don't know what that hill they're moving over there is, but it looks like there's going to be more than 3 houses up there. You know where I'm talking about? Is that developer coming forward yet, or is he still blowing all of his money on dirt movers?
Mostly that, yeah.
I think there's going to be hundreds of houses up there. And I think they might want to come here because our schools are all right. Again, superintendent, without your effort, and that needs to continue, by the way. I hope your pen is still full of ink. Charter school oversight. We've got a lot of charters up for renewal this year. And I'm going to expect that somebody comes to me and tells me why they're there, why we're taking a risk. What is the net revenue on the charter, any of them?
Yeah.
All it takes is one person in one of those charters make a bonehead move and create a $2 million case. If I pull $2 million out of your budget right now, what do you got?
A lot less. $2 million less. No, I'm
Hey,
kidding.
listen, you're out of here. So play
No,
along.
we have 5
Would
million.
you have this letter with $2 million less today?
No, sir.
Okay, good. Well, welcome, HR director. You can go ahead and write me up. Okay. But guys, this is a first. Thank you, teachers, for your good work. Thank you, staff. Thank you guys for maintaining the building so the roofs aren't falling in and having there's all kinds of budgeting that has gone here. I'm so proud of this. I've never seen this before. I'm glad my name is on it because in the future, if it's not exactly perfect, I'll just go, hey, when I was president, blah, blah, blah. That's all the comments I have. Sorry for being so windy, but that is something to celebrate. But to Lester's point, Mr. Money, we got to keep our eye on the money. We got to make sure that we're not out 2 and 3 and 5 years from now laying people off and getting back to just writing and reading. We can't have that. Okay. So we don't need to vote on that, do we? Good. We're on to item C, certification of signatures. Board member, Mr. William Mays. Do I have a motion?
All motion.
With the addition of our newest board member, Mr. Mays, we're required to approve certification of his signature to conduct board-related business.
Any discussion? Does this involve an FBI check?
Perhaps.
Okay. Call the question.
Cameron, I.
Mays, aye.
Just who's I?
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Mascot, I.
Fallsgraf, aye. Item 12A, B, and C. These are like related to policies of board conduct. I'm not starting to feel pretty ill right now. These are public. This is just a public hearing, not even a public hearing. These are informational items and a first read. The first one is item A, board bylaw, B 9320, meetings and notices. This is a revised policy. Go ahead.
Sure, for BB 9320, some of the recommended language updates, the major highlight is the teleconferencing that we've seen on the board agenda throughout for the past 3 years. That teleconferencing component will be on our agendas through January of 2026. That's one of the highlights. In addition, some of the revised language as far as board retreats, discussion meetings, as well as study sessions are in there as updates as needed. Thank you.
Discussion? None. Board members, including myself, we need to read this because it tells us what we should and should not be doing. Moving along, B, board bylaw, BB 9323.2. Please.
So for BB 9323.2, the revisions, some of the highlights for the updates include actions on non-agenda items as well as challenging board actions taken.
Any discussion? This is about manipulating and dancing around the Brown Act, which I'm never known for. That's it. We're moving on to the next one. C, Exhibit 9323.2E, subsection 1, actions by the board.
So with this exhibit, some of the updated language pertaining to actions requiring a vote, such as actions requiring a 2/3 vote, requiring a 4/5 vote, as well as a unanimous vote by the board. The exhibit actually outlines when those conditions should be met.
Could we be so kind as to flash this up on the screen, please? Anyone with questions? Yeah, this exists. So if you see people, I don't want to say that. Sometimes it's politically handy to vote no when you know everybody else is going to vote yes and that kind of thing. But there are certain things that you really, really need to pay attention to. There are certain things that require all of the board members to be present and vote on. One of them is if I want to take my Texas friends and sneak in the back and start drilling oil wells, that takes 5 votes. It actually says that in there. You guys on? Okay. So please run through it so we can see that somebody has said that we know what we're supposed to do and not do. Anyone else a Maryland Wood speed reader graduate?
Was this proposed by the California State Board Association?
Let's expand upon what that means. California School Boards Association. Anybody want to do that or should I? Some board members. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. No, you.
They
No,
base,
we get the fan girl, right?
the California School Board Association is where we get most of our recommendations for procedure and policy.
And some board members really dislike the California School Boards Association because they encourage things like autonomy. So the idea is if you listen to everything they say, we all sit up here and go like this when he talks, and then we're accused of being rubber stamping and bobbleheading. But they're a good place to go to where you don't have to spend a lot of money on attorney to see some Captain Obvious stuff. Any, you want to loop again? No, good. All righty, we're at that point that everybody loves. Board comments, Mr. Mays.
I just want to go back to the every 15 minutes. I went to the assembly and it was very eye-opening is the word. They did post the video that was made on YouTube, so I would suggest to watch that. And I just wanted to welcome you, Jacqueline, to our team. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. I'll keep my comments brief, partly because I'm an hour late for work, so I'll keep my comments brief. I want to do a special thanks to the individuals who put together that every 15 minutes program. I think it's very important, of course, to teach our young students the importance of driving and the awareness of safe driving. Being in law enforcement for over the 23 years, I've seen some horrific crashes, and it actually impacted me personally. About 3 years ago, my son passed away in a car accident. So I know the impact of driving and having that awareness. So I want to thank everybody who participated in that. And I do want to say, if you're a parent, you weren't able to attend that program there that was given, take the time to talk to your children about safe driving. Okay, because it's serious and you think it doesn't ever going to hit you, but it can. So I appreciate whoever put that together. Thanks again.
Piggybacking off of that, I do love that program for our students, and I think that they are incredibly lucky that they were able to experience that. Super cool. And thank you to everybody that made that happen at Vasquez for our students and our families. Aislinn, to comment on your student report, you're always so thorough, and thank you very much. And I know every time I say that, I absolutely love your reports, and thank you for that. When you were going through your report, you just listed off so many students getting involved at Vasquez in all different aspects. And some of the names are names that we hear all the time, and those kids are constantly involved in so many different things. And I love hearing those names of students that are involved all over the place. One thing that I noticed tonight is that you mentioned some students that I haven't heard before, new students getting involved in things. And I think that that is just awesome, that that momentum is traveling to more of your student body of kids getting involved. And that's one of the beauties of our small schools and a small district is one kid can be involved in sports and academics and culinary and the strategic plan and there's so many different avenues and so many different ways for our kids to get involved. And I just want to thank you for highlighting all of those students doing amazing things. And I know when you were also listing those at the end, you said, and me, and kind of squeaked that in. And I know that you're involved in so many different things and you sit here with us, and thank you very much for doing what you do on campus and in the boardroom. It really makes a difference for your student body. So thank you. You also mentioned boys volleyball. I did get some information that they did win their first round of CIF. So congratulations, boys volleyball. I'm also told that their next game will be a home game on Saturday at 6. So I am putting that on my calendar. Volleyball is one of the most exciting sports to watch. I never played. I always watch baseball and I love football. And then when my kids played volleyball, it was like, I have been missing out. So if you've never been to one of our volleyball games, definitely get out there at 6 o'clock, home game in our beautiful gym, because that is going to be an exciting game. I'm looking forward to Meadowlark's talent show tomorrow. I will be there with my family to watch all those awesome kids. That's tomorrow night. I believe doors open at 5:30 and the show's at 6. So if you can get out there, I will see you there. I have a couple of sincere apologies. One of my favorite events, or a couple of my favorite events as a board member, is to show up to promotion and graduation. I'm so proud of our kids, our 4th graders, our 8th graders, and especially our 12th graders. I have watched our 12th graders grow up. Some of the kids graduating are kids that my daughter went to preschool with. I'm gonna miss it. So sincere apologies to our Vasquez seniors and our High Desert promoting 8th graders. Our Vasquez graduation happens to be on my son's 8th grade promotion at the exact same time. And our High Desert promotion happens to be when Sienna is going to graduate. So there's absolutely no way that I can miss my kids' promotion and graduation to be at what I feel like is my other kids' promotion and graduation, and it's really weighing on my heart. So I just want to sincerely apologize to all of our promoting 8th graders and graduating seniors. And it's something that I just can't miss. And I really can't believe that I'm missing those 2 humongous events. And I sincerely apologize to all of our staff and all of our students. It's something that I can't fix. I would if I could. So with that,
I was just getting ready to say how excited I was for all those events. But yeah, the end of the year activities are coming. I think everyone knows where your heart is, so I'm sure they'll understand. George, thank you for sharing that about the 15-minute stuff. That's a big thing, and appreciate you sharing that. To talk about the positive certification one last time, that really is a big deal for us, and that increasing enrollment, I think I tell my own guys at work all the time, the reason people come back and stay is really because of all the people that are involved in the business. So the same thing is true here for our students. The reason that people stay, the reason people continue on really has to do with our staff and teachers. So congratulations to all of you and all of them for everything they do. And welcome again. I'm looking forward to it.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay, I never miss board meetings, and I missed the last board meeting because I attended a will. I stayed till the end and I received nothing. But can you identify where that came from? But anyway,
Were you invited?
I was supposed to be the one in the box. Listen, I'll handle the comedy here. Nonetheless, whether I was here or not, California Educational Code, I can't read this number, but it requires me to be present for the length of your board meeting to be a short record. Sorry. On to reality. Students, we got a few of them in here tonight. Thank you for your work and everything you do to be the shining light of our community. Staff, thank you for supporting the students and have your eye on them. Sometimes it takes you to go to an individual student and say, hey, come on, you're better than this. Superintendent, I want to thank you for supporting your students and staff and for your 3 years of service. And buying chains to keep you here, it looks like. And board, I want to thank you for your work tonight. This board does a lot of work that you all don't know about. Some of it's back there. Sometimes it's weighing things out and figuring it. And I am proud of my colleagues and the work that they do. And I guarantee you they're focused on the support of this gentleman and the staff and the students of this district. So that said, we have any future agenda items? Hearing none. Yeah, so we'll go back to the calendar now. You see, when I do that, everybody whispers like parrots. You missed one. He's getting really old. Item 14 calendar. Regular board meeting, May 9th, 2024, and regular board meeting, May 23rd, 2024. I have no more wills to go to, so I will be here. Anyone else?
I will not be at the May 9th board meeting.
Okay, put those items on the agenda then. Anybody else? We're all good. We're gonna have a quorum. Good. So that said, can I have a motion to adjourn this meeting at 9:17 PM?
I motion.
Call the question.
Cameron, I.
Mays, aye.
Yes, who's I?
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Mascot eye.
And Fallsgraph, aye. Thank you all.